So nice to have you on for episode 50.
Good to be on.
So
happy to get the title of episode 50.
How good.
Epic. I can't believe you've done 49.
Yeah,
That's such a good shout, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Today on the poddy we have a really good friend of mine, Calum, who is someone who has been inspiring me greatly recently to live in a more honest fashion and more from the heart, which has been really cool. By trade, Calum is a professional tennis player.
Well, is and has been now as of about 2 months, but have had the fortunate trade of hitting yellow fluffy things over the net for a job.
But yeah, I guess you'll get to know Calum a lot more over this chat because it's kind of hard to give a little spiel for everything that makes him him. I'm keen to kind of delve into a little bit of tennis, a little bit of just self, and yeah, we'll take it away. So how have you spent the majority of the last 10 years?
I've spent the majority of the last 10 years somewhat one-dimensionally driven, focused on trying to be a better tennis player, and also, like anyone outside of their trade, enjoying the fruits of life and just moving through the challenges of life. And I think the 20s have been a beautiful time. 20s are a real cool time. Maybe even initially it feels like the 30s might be better, and so on and so forth, but the 20s are epic. So I spent the majority of my 20s traveling to tennis tournaments, playing tennis tournaments around the world, and chasing some kind of dream, some kind of worthiness, I guess. Yeah.
And what's your first memory of tennis?
My first memory of tennis is I moved from South Africa to Australia when I was 4, and I reckon when I was 5, I lived in Brisbane for 1 year. When I was 5, I remember going to these tennis courts. Apparently, I think, so I've heard, it's the first time I did a lesson. I remember going to these tennis courts in close to Redland Bay. It's called Wellington Point, this little town, East Brisbane. Yeah, just remember the sign of Pat Rafter and just playing this game, Challenger Champ, very early days. And yeah, I did heaps of sports when I was younger, heaps of different sports, but for some reason, my brother and I, older brother and I, DG, now Matt, both really enjoyed tennis. So that was the earliest memory, but it's very vague. And then a lot more early memories soon after, 7, 8, 9 years old in Noosa, just hitting with Deej.
And what were your favourite parts about being on tour?
I guess firstly, outside of the whole, it's like you live in a double life. Like I felt like I'm a human being traveling, getting to these awesome places, and this was an awesome time, this was an awesome experience. Being able to be moving around a lot, from hanging out with me, I was here aware now that I'm somebody that likes to be doing things as well. So getting to see a lot of different cultures, go to a lot of different places, was really epic. That was one of the most enjoyable parts. And other side of the coin, tiresome, but we'll get to that later, I suppose. The other side of that, the other life, was the most enjoyable part was pursuing this dream of being the best tennis player I can be, and the most enjoyable part was the moments that I would get into on the training court, or more so during matches, I guess. During matches, the space that you would get into, and then the feeling of winning like a close match, or playing well, or funneling all this energy into something and performing well, that would be one of my favourite memories or favourite things about the tour. And then thirdly, I gotta add as well, just meeting so many different people. Got so many different friends in so many different places as well, and meeting people with the sometimes sole common denominator of loving and wanting to make it in tennis, and often very different outside of that, you know. So that meeting a lot of different people was amazing, and I feel like you got a wide network from it. Yeah.
How precious. Traveling the world with tight friends and engaging in an activity that gives you so much life is a pretty cool experience. Can you recall a moment on the journey where you sat back and thought, fuck, this is pretty damn cool?
I reckon plenty.
Yeah.
I reckon plenty, usually around 5 p.m. when there's a sunset.
Yeah.
Or on a tarmac, taking off an aeroplane, when as boring and as monotonous as flying can get. There was sometimes moments where I'd be like on a tarmac or an airport, or sort of hustling from place to place, and I'd have a little blip of reflection and thinking, I guess I recognized the finiteness of the existence. So then I was like, this is pretty sick. And that would remind me, those moments would remind me to embrace it. So just remember, because I just try and tell myself it's not forever. Yeah, a lot of small moments, for sure.
Do you have a pre-game amp-up ritual?
I try and really sort of, I've never had a really consistent theme. Pre-game ritual. I was thinking more music, for some reason I went there. Pre-game ritual, depends what time I'm playing. That can vary. Sometimes you'll be playing at 10 a.m. Sometimes you could be on at 10 p.m. And the thing about tennis that's pretty unique is, even for a really big match, unless you're the first match of the day, when the play starts on that court, don't know exactly when you're going to play. So if you're third on after 10, you might have a not before time of 1 o'clock, which means that the first match will start at 10, the second match will start whenever the first match starts, and then you will go on when the second match finishes. But you at least know that you're not before 1.
Yeah.
But it can vary a little bit, so it can make the routine. Sometimes you have to be adaptive, and always have to be checking your phone and aware of like what the score is, or have somebody that's checking the score of your court.
True.
So you kind of get in this place where you're on edge early in that sense. You're checking the score. When are we going to be on? When do I need to warm up? But pretty much each day will look like on a match day. Wake up, and then I always finish my shower with a cold shower. Usually have breakfast if I'm playing. If I'm not playing early, if I'm training, I might not have breakfast. Pack my bag for the day, go to the courts, usually limber up in the gym for a while, just get those hips moving, get that lower back out, just foam rolling, trigger pointing, just stretching out the body, like dynamic stretching, hanging, as you've seen at mine, just things like that. And then maybe on the bike for a little bit, just warming the legs up more, and then a lot of resistance band stuff, like TheraBand work, just activating all the muscles in and around your shoulders and your rotator cuff and your lat and your wrist and your forearm. Just activating everything so when you start to hit balls, it's not cold and then may get injured. So you're just trying to get everything loose and able. And then, so I always do a limber up in the gym and then hit for usually around 30 minutes. So 30 minutes of practice on a match day. Just feeling the ball, just trying to get a nice contact point, just feeling your rhythm, like anything. Like if you surf, you may not surf your best your first wave. If you're in a couple of waves in and you got your rhythm and you surf in the same section, you get more comfortable with it, same thing. If you pick up a guitar and you're a musician, you get, just find your rhythm. Same sort of feeling. You want to find that repeatability in the stroke. And then, so that usually 30 minutes is enough, then cool down. Relax and wait till when I play. Chat with people, stay lighthearted, try not to think too hard, because you have a sense of anxiety the whole day about the match. And I would say I'm less of an anxious person about that, but I know some people that'll be nauseous on the day, vomiting. Like people get, I get more excited. It's a fine line between being excited and being nervous, right? Yeah, and then just relax, and then go when I'm about 30 minutes from going on from a match, go back into the gym and warm the body up again, straight to the match. And then leading into the match, what I started with is I started going on the tangent of music when you first asked me this question. Depending on my mood, I always like to listen to music before I go on in a way. But depending on my mood, that music will differ. Sometimes I'm trying to bring myself down if I feel too aroused, something chilled. And then sometimes if I'm feeling a bit lazy, maybe it's 3 o'clock in the arvo, I've been at the site for a while, then it might be a bit of like metal or something to fire myself up, something upbeat. And then lately I've been in the habit of taking my headphones off about 2-3 minutes before I walk on court. So and listening to the sounds around me, because sometimes that can be a meditative point for during a match. At a change of ends, you could meditate on the breath, you could like something to come back to the present. And so I feel like sometimes in the past I'd learn it through trial and error, I guess, where I would go from music straight in and you're like, oh wow, yeah, I'm here. Now it feels very quiet, I can hear the ball. So sometimes just get present by sound leading in. Yeah.
Wise. Do you have a career highlight?
Interesting. Do I have a career highlight? Like a career highlight, a moment?
Yeah.
A couple, they come to me, but one that stands out that was cool, it wasn't even a match, but it was definitely a really standout highlight, was hitting with Rafael Nadal.
Yeah.
Is this like just my eyes? One, probably two main idols growing up with Leighton Hewitt and him.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and so hitting with him was pretty cool.
Sick.
I was like, oh, this is an amazing experience to be part of. And then a few little matches that come to mind. A few little matches. One in Serbia when I was probably, it was not even a big, on paper it's not a big moment, but one in Serbia, I was 19, I reckon, playing by myself in this place called Novi Sad on this clay courts, and I had a really good win, and it was the first, and I felt like, holy shit, I can do this. I just thought it was a moment like that where it was like, I'm doing it. But yeah, plenty. I could, like, heaps come to mind, but it's actually hard to specify one particular. Yeah. You would think naturally you'd go to the time where you'd win a tournament, but for some reason that doesn't come straight away.
No,
yeah.
That's epic. What would you like 2025 to look and feel like?
2025. We've had a good start of the year, haven't we? Like, it's been sick. 2025 is looking so different for me, and I'm feeling so energized from it. I'm feeling. I was always kind of told, or even would tell people, that the enthusiasm and passion and energy that you put into tennis will correlate to your after tennis life, like playing wise. And then it's tough to feel that when you move into that space, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, you feel like you're back at the bottom of a mountain sort of thing. But I'm only, what are we, like a month and a half in, and the energy's been flowing high. Like, I'm honestly been so appreciative to spend this time with you. It's been amazing. Part of the reason I stopped playing is to have the potential to meet someone as well, which has been so fun, and just directing that, as I spoke about, that passion or that energy that's been going into trying to be a better tennis player, directing that in a wide variety of areas in life. Obviously, one of those main areas for me now is tennis coaching, which is such a broader job description than one would realise, and then I realised when I first gone into it, because it's like such a different way of connecting to heaps of different human beings. It's nice to feel like, at the start of this chat you mentioned it's like a trade. It's nice to feel like you never studied, never did anything, you just did tennis. It's nice to feel like you can give back through that. So 2025 is going to look like a bit more money, motivated, but the passion is coming thick and hard, and many trips to Kingscliff, and lots of surfing. Stoked to be surfing again. Be close to the ocean. One of the things I missed when I was traveling, and just good times to be able to. I'm feeling really stable right now with my life or with my emotional state, it hasn't always been the case. So I'm feeling appreciative to feel like that, and I thought I would I thought I would move through more uncertain emotions around stopping playing, and I felt actually more comfortable with it than I thought, so it gives me even more energy for 2025.
What's something that you find really recharges your batteries?
Couple of things. As you know, I need a decent amount of sleep. That recharges my batteries. It helps gives the mood a better chance to be, like, I naturally am optimistic, and I need good sleep to maintain that optimism. The ocean for sure, a little bit of sunlight, exercise recharges my batteries actually. If I'm not exercising, or if I'm being lethargic, then my energy just depletes. The more I'm exercising, obviously you have to have a break, hence the concern about sleep being a priority, or not concern, hence the beauty in sleep being a priority. Yeah, I'd say exercise massively and feeling limber, stretching, to come back into the nest and feel hanging out with your family, that recharges my batteries always. You feel like you're part of, you feel like part of a tribe or a nest. And yeah, I don't need a hell of a lot of battery recharge now that I think of it, even though I named like 20 things just then. But they're not like, I don't need to go like be an iPhone and lay down for a bit. I need good sleep, but apart from that, I get recharged through like experience. Some people will get depleted or lose energy for having lots of social interactions. I mean, it's part of my job, but obviously there's a limit, but I tend to gain energy from it. So I don't need heaps of. I wonder if, I always try and check in to make sure that I'm trying to be aware that if I'm avoidant of alone time. I always like hanging out with people, but so got to make space for that logically just to see. But yeah, I feel recharged by you, that's for sure.
Cute. What excites you the most about life off tour?
The ability to be on the same time zone for a long time and then be like set in your kind of circadian rhythms, getting up with the sun more, going down with the sun more, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then with that, being in touch with the land I'm in, being able to walk barefoot wherever I go, which is a luxury that you're not capable of in all places. As we've kind of touched on as well, so just time with family for sure. I'm really close to my family, as you've learnt now. I'm super close to my family, and I feel like a part of my. I just feel my cup would feel super full. My heart would feel super full when I'm checking in, when I'm around my family, around my parents' home as well. So that's one of the benefits of not being on tour. One of the negatives is having to make time, as I think I mentioned this to you the other day, having to make time for attending to the body, which is fun still, but it was like the job was like attending to your body as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like you finish work and then you got to stretch. As I said to you the other day, that's a little bit of a challenge, different.
Less movement.
Yeah, but way more positives I'm feeling. Yeah.
Is it hard to lose gracefully?
Yeah. Good question. I learned to lose gracefully as I got older. When I was younger, fuck no, wouldn't lose gracefully. I'd just be tears before the match was even over.
Yeah.
When I'm younger, just for losing it feel like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then, no, I didn't find it that hard. Even though I've done some stupid shit on the court, even though I've smashed rackets, hit balls over fences, lost my temper, I was pretty good with not directing any of that volatileness, or whatever you want to call it, towards the opponent. It was almost, no matter how pissed I was at myself, like all that anger would be about myself not being good enough, or not winning the match, or missing too much. And then whenever I would shake hands with the person I was playing with, the dude I was playing with, I was always felt relatively graceful. Would always give him a firm handshake and look in his eye and respect the battle. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely, you could probably find some times I was a full-blown brat between 14 to 16, I'd say. But it's also so much of losing gracefully is a good tool to teach you how to separate the extreme drive and motivation to try and win that match, and then the humanity in the people, afterwards. So, and it was also a tool to make you realise that was, you're essentially versing yourself, and you're fortunate to have all these people that are pushing themselves, so you can size yourself up against them, and then therefore learn more lessons about yourself through going through this experience of playing them. And then that experience of playing them and their good shots would make you frustrated, and that would just show me, obviously sometimes not at the moment, but always in hindsight, it would show me just where I'm shackled on, where I'm easily what things I'm easily reacted to, and just show me the level of reaction I have at that time. So, losing gracefully, decently acquired skill, I'd say.
Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Hit me.
Is this podcast, he's doing this podcast for what you would have expected it to be like, the feeling that you sit with now? Not this, I mean, I don't mean actually this one.
Yeah.
I don't mean this one. I mean
as
doing...
a totality, yeah.
Yeah, as a totality, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really have expectations other than the fact that I wanted to keep going.
Nice.
But I didn't think that it would... I didn't think I'd feel so comfortable talking in front of a camera.
Do you think have you noticed yourself just get more comfortable?
Yeah,
That's
really.
what's fun about it, eh?
Yeah, it's just been good practice.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the cue. What do you feel the biggest sacrifice you had to make was when deciding to pursue competitive tennis?
I remember a moment when I was, and this is kind of on topic of what you and I have been dealing with this afternoon in a way, but I remember a moment when I was at the end of grade 7. So primary school used to go to grade 7. No, I reckon this was the end of grade 6 actually. First proper girlfriend, I was frothing over, and her name was Candy. And my MSN name was I Love Candy. Yeah, I was little Romeo, and always at that age, obviously you go to school, you do normal school, and on the weekends and on the holidays you play lots of tournaments. And I remember getting to the end of the school holidays and being super psyched. I just got this, end of the school year, being super psyched. I just got this girlfriend, and we're gonna hang out. And then I realised that I had non-stop tournaments over the whole holidays, and I wouldn't actually see her the whole time. First time I realised that was going to be a sacrifice, the sacrifice of like presence in a way. So it's not like I was travelling from that young, but you're also fortunate to be able to be good enough to be travelling in a way. But what was the question again? What was the sacrifice?
Yeah.
For me, two things actually. Instant financial gain, I had to sacrifice. I just had to sacrifice just being a bit nomadic and just... I had to embrace, being a bit nomadic and being able to just kind of hustle and make it work to be able to use my expenses were so high, and I was making no money to be able to travel and just try and be a bit of a hustler. But that was also, like anything, turned out to be also a great lesson. And then, the first one, the presence. I learned that it was really hard to have a relationship through my 20s as well, because you had this, it was hard for other people outside of that bubble to resonate with this like really deep passion and why you wanted to pursue it. Touching on the first point of no instant financial gain, you weren't getting that straight away, and it was a lot of sacrifice. Yeah. I think any passion is just accumulated, and the passion starts accumulating. The kindling for the passion starts at fucking 10 years old. So then it's like you're starting your degree at 10 in a way. So then it's like you're 18. If you've been doing this for 8 years already, you have to keep going and pursue it. And then it's like the fire's burning now, and you really want to see it out, because you have it, like any human being, you have a glimmer of hope. You know, you have hope, and I can't remember how I got on that tangent. What was the same one of the sacrifices? I don't know how I got there, but it was good.
It's good.
It was good.
Yeah. If anyone was going through heartbreak, heart pain right now, what sort of advice would you give them?
When you speak to any 80-year-old, go find an 80-year-old on the street and go ask them, have they experienced heartbreak? And I tell you what, you'll be fucking really lucky or unlucky not to find one. Every single person has gone through heartbreak in some way, and I mean romantic heartbreak. Yeah. So it's like, some people there may be a few people out there that the first love they had, and maybe some of that is also old school as well. People who like to commit really early, but maybe some people the first love they have, that was the one, and they carry on happily ever after, and that's fucking beautiful as well. It's so amazing. But I'll just give the advice that it seems to be, for whatever cruel reason, one of the experiences that human beings have to go through. And I feel like when your heart breaks, it breaks, as cliche as it sounds, it breaks open. I saw that a lot in my little brother. He's super logical, little tunnel vision for his own benefits in a way, which is, I'm learning so much from him in all the wonderful collaterals of that. But his heart got really cracked open from being heartbroken as well. I don't know. I also think that just on my experiences. Remember I read that thing to you on the plane when we were going to Melbourne? Yeah. One of the things I just wrote on the topic of heartbreak was that I was just trying to figure out how fast I could get through it in a way, not trying to like brush it off. I feel like I'm a pretty emotional person, especially for a male. So felt like I just had to set like I felt like I was going to be feeling shitty, or feel like the person that's dealing with heartbreak is going to be feeling shitty for a certain amount of time regardless, and they're going to be yearning for like a patch job that isn't really there, and it feels like it's the only thing that can fix it, but it can't, is like the reconnection with that person, or getting them back, or whatever it is. And it's a process of, I think it's the greatest lesson in life of life is a constant process of letting go. Like the only constant in life is change. We all heard that one. And so any like change in anything, change in your own body, change when you look in the mirror, change in the surroundings, nothing stays the same. Everything's growing, everything's dying. And sometimes we're fortunate enough to have a long union with somebody, but often, I was listening to Peter Crone this afternoon, and this dude, I told you about him recently. He's called he's got this name called the Mind Architect. It's kind of ironic because I kind of get an arrogant sense from him, but he's got so much good shit to say.
See.
Anyway, his dad died when he was 7. His mum died when he was 17, and he was just talking about the fact, I don't know, he seems to play it off well if it is bullshit, but it seems pretty legit. The fact that he's come to a place where he can really rest in appreciation for the time he had with them, and I think that's almost impossible straight away. Sometimes mood follows action, well, at least it's going to follow sooner than no action. Yeah. So I feel like you just got to try and take action logically, and treat your body well, be gentle, surround yourself with people that care about you, all the normal stuff, and sleep and cry heaps. That's always just a nice release, well, not a nice release, but a necessary release. I just always would never try and hold it in. I'd be the biggest crier if something was going wrong, or if I was dealing with heartbreak. Yeah, and that's about all the advice I can think I've accumulated so far, but hopefully I don't get the opportunity to accumulate too much more on that front through experience.
Well, cute. Am I going to finish on something that you've been vibing recently, or a hot tip, or a potty you listen to, or something that stuck with you?
There's way too much noise and variables to have to control the outside in a scenario. There's way too many things going on. So if you're going to try and control the outside to be able to make your place and in this world a better place, it's going to be a long and difficult task. So I would say if anyone's experiencing like turmoil, or if anyone's experiencing like frustration in their life and everything, just come back to the inside and try and come back to cultivating the witness, or the watcher, as Marinko called it today, inside you, and share your thoughts and your feelings with people around you. Find people in this world that you feel comfortable enough to share how you're feeling. That's helped me a lot.
Nice.
Good.
Hustle. Yeah. Yay-hoo. Well, thanks so much for your time. So good. Killed it. Loved
Thanks.
it.
Okay.